If your brand is doing anywhere from $2 million to $50 million a year of revenue, there's a very high chance you're losing around 15% of revenue and you don't even know about it. Stick around and we'll talk about what the reason is. If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Mario Simonian. I'm an IP attorney, but I've also built and sold Amazon businesses myself. Today, I work with high-performing brands every day, and after years of doing this, I've seen one issue quietly hurt more brands than anything else. What's really hurting your brand are infringers and unauthorized resellers. And most brands assume, I don't think I've got a problem with infringers or unauthorized resellers because if I did, I'd know about it. Or my marketing team would tell me about it. But that's not always the case. So, one of the first signs that shows that you've got a problem with brand enforcement or brand protection is your buy box. Your buy box, you'll see, I'm losing buy box percentages, but why? That's the first sign. And your marketing department may tell you, hey, we're handling this. It's this other reseller. They've got 5 units, and once they're out, we'll have more control over it. But that's not always what happens. It could slowly turn into a very huge avalanche. What I mean by that is if there's someone that's selling 5 units, there's probably a liquidator or wholesaler or a gray market supplier that's got more inventory and you don't even know about it. So that could just be the beginning, the first drop of blood. And from there, it could catapult into something a lot worse. Another assumption that some brands have is this is just the cost of doing business. There's no way I could control these other resellers because of the first sale doctrine. And again, that's not true at all either. Let me tell you a quick story. A client I was talking to earlier, he says, you know what, Mario, we've tried to remove these resellers. We tried sending them cease and desist letters. We tried hiring an agency to help with that. We even tried another law firm. And it got to the point where we realized we can't control these unauthorized resellers. So we just got out of Amazon. We completely shut down that channel. And this is a brand that was doing around the $1.5 million in revenue on Amazon. On their own website, they do 2 million. And on Amazon, they were able to add another 1.5, but they gave up on this. That's how bad this problem could get. And I'm glad we started working with them. And I'm glad we're going to be able to help them regain that $1.5 million of additional revenue. So we had a client come to us, and this is a brand that sells over the counter melatonin, and they do really well. They do about $1.7 million a month in revenue. They came to us and said, look, we think we've got this problem. Our marketing department has tried helping, but they really haven't made much of a difference. Now we're looking for a real solution. And I told them same thing I tell every other brand is your marketing department may be great, but they're not attorneys. You can't expect them to know brand enforcement and intellectual property law and policies of the marketplaces. So we ran an audit, and what we found is on average, they've got about 2.5 resellers or hijackers per listing. What a hijacker is, it's just someone that has copies of your product. It could be authentic or it could be inauthentic, but they're now jumping on your product listing and using the product reviews that you've got and the momentum that you've built on that listing to jump in there, hijack it, and take sales away from your product and from your brand. And what we found is on average, they were losing around $258,000 a month to resellers, to unauthorized resellers. We took a look at the resellers. We took a look at the product listings that have the most issues. And after our audit, we said, you know what? We estimate that in 3 to 6 months, we could recover around the 193,000 of that $250,000 that you're losing. One of the most egregious examples we found is that one of their resellers, one of their unauthorized resellers, selling on 5 listings was attributing to 13.6 of the loss of revenue. That's $236,000 that this one reseller was responsible for. And this is data that they did not have before. And one question they asked is, well, we've already tried our marketing agency. They were unable to help. And we've also tried other enforcement agencies, and they really didn't make much of a difference. What are you guys going to do differently? And what I told them is most marketing agencies are not equipped. Most enforcement agencies really have one tool that they use, and it's going to be reporting these unauthorized resellers or infringers for copyright infringement complaints. And once that doesn't work, really that's where they stop. It's really a one-trick pony. And what I told him is what sets us apart because of our experience working with other brands, because of our experience with intellectual property and the marketplace policies, we do things a little bit differently. Number one, we look at intellectual property rights, and if any of it is infringing, we'll go ahead and report it. But we don't just stop there. We've built two additional pillars to our brand enforcement. So we also look at Amazon or any other marketplace policies and their terms and conditions to determine if maybe this other unauthorized reseller is also violating Amazon's own policies. And I could tell you, Amazon is more likely to act when an unauthorized reseller is not only infringing your patent or your trademark or your copyright, but also violating Amazon's policies. But the third pillar is going to be looking to see if these unauthorized resellers are violating any state or federal regulatory compliance requirements. And I could tell you those three pillars put together are incredible at what results they can deliver for brands with removing unauthorized resellers. And that's what makes our process different than other agencies. Something that really annoys me more than anything is the people that steal ideas from others. And when I say ideas, it could be your brand reputation, the brand that you've built. It could be the products that you've created. It could be the images you took or paid a photographer to do, or it could be your invention or creation. And my personal take is if you want to steal my wallet, steal my wallet. You want to steal my phone, steal my phone. Anything tangible that I have, you want to take it. Anything material, take it. But when someone takes your idea, when someone takes your creation and they don't give you the credit, I think that's one of the deepest pains we as humans can experience. And the reason I'm a little bit more passionate about this subject than maybe other things that I've discussed is when I was an Amazon seller, yeah, we were doing private label, brand, and kitchenware. But at one point, I imported about 5 or 6 large rolls of artificial turf. And I thought I could just sell this on Craigslist because at the time, LA City was reimbursing homeowners to replace their front lawn or backyard with artificial turf. So I thought this would be easy. I'd gone that cocky. And I soon realized that I can't move this. I sold one and it was a nightmare. I had to rent a van, drive it across town in LA traffic. And I was like, forget this. I just gave up on it, just left it there in the driveway. And one morning I'm having coffee and I'm looking at this large rolls of artificial grass. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces and make these into doormats. And that's what I did. I went to Home Depot, grabbed a few guys. I said, we're going to cut this up into pieces. So I had them measure it, just very, very rough. But this was an idea that worked. This was my own creation. Now, back then, I never protected it with any sort of IP, but it still hurt me when I saw a bunch of other people copy my idea, copy my creation. Right. And obviously you never get credit for it, right? You never get a dollar from those that steal your idea, that steal your creation. And that's the same thing I see happening with brands today is they'll take your brand reputation, use it to make a buck without giving you any credit. And in the IP world, when we talk about giving you credit, we're really talking about paying you, right? Or royalty. So infringers or unauthorized resellers, that's really what they're doing. They're stealing your creation, they're stealing your idea. And I don't think there's a deeper pain than someone stealing that creation of yours, that idea of yours, without giving you any credit. I think that's just a sort of dagger to the heart, right? So this topic gets me a little bit more fired up than other topics. And that's what I see with other brands that come to us is they know they're losing. They don't know how big that pain is until we're able to show it to them. Once they see it, they're like, we need a solution. And I'm like, I agree. So that's what we do for brands. So what can you do today to ensure that you're at least aware of it? Take a look at your buy box, all the marketplaces that you're on, take a look at it. Even the marketplaces that you're not on, take a look and see who's on there, who's selling it. That's going to be the number one determining factor. Once you have an idea that that's happening, then we could talk about what the solution is. I'm going to provide a link below. Go ahead and fill that out, and we'll go ahead and perform a free brand protection audit for you to determine how much you may be losing and what you can recover. So go ahead and do that. That's the link is below. And take a look at the next video that we're going to upload. That's going to be about what really is brand protection and what that should look like. That'll be a lot more informative and getting into the logistics of how everything works out.